When people introduce me in such high-colored ways, I keep saying, who is this man? I'd like to meet him. Anyway, may I begin my little chat to you, and it's a chat. First of all, asking all of us to thank Dr. Najat for organizing what I think is, frankly, a brilliant, innovative conference. Can you give her a big hand? She has said so many things about everybody, but nobody said anything about her. So I'm going to take 2 seconds to say, because we don't have much time, she is, of course, a graduate of Oxford University. She is a PhD. She is an entrepreneur and a highly successful both woman and a leader in her field. So I'm really delighted and touched that Dr. Najat, who I got to know through my work with the Moroccan community, has invited me and my colleagues to speak about some issues today. Can I just say, having heard all this conference this morning, His Excellency the Ambassador of Morocco and the speakers that followed him, I know entrepreneurship is very exciting. But what is more exciting is that you want to do your job, earn lots of money, and hopefully stay within the law. Because otherwise, I will be wearing my wig and say, my lord, Mr. Youssef or Mrs. Fatma or Mr. Smith, really don't, they look guilty, but they're not really guilty. So you want to avoid that. My suggestion, and one of the main speakers was speaking earlier, they took the words from my mouth. If you want to succeed in any business, there are 3 things I feel, and I know for a fact you have to do. One is obviously know your market. Secondly, have a dream, have a vision. Thirdly, and I feel the most important element of this, it's true that one of the most important elements I feel is have absolute passion for your dream. But in addition to all this, act ethically. Because sadly, and all of us are lawyers here and we work in criminal law and other areas of law, there is always a tendency to cut the odd corner, hoping that nobody is going to notice. Sadly, nowadays, as we know, as I'm speaking nowadays, somebody in Baku, in Azerbaijan, is seeing me simultaneously. So you have to be very careful what happens. So my strong invitation to you all, to take a message with you, to be absolutely as highly ethical as you can in trying to implement that vision, that dream that will make you the entrepreneur you wish to be. One point that was touched upon by, I think, Mr. Nasreen, I hope if I mention his name correctly, our Jordanian French colleague. Sadly, he touched upon law, but I've worked in both France, in England, and also in the Middle East. The Middle East, the MENA region, is, I think, plagued by inability to innovate its laws and its legal processes to make them applicable. They have great theories. I personally blame Mr. Napoleon because, well, he came to Egypt 300 years ago. He came with his army, and he came with his Le Code Napoleon. It was translated into Arabic, and virtually from Egypt, it has spread to every part of the Arab world. And may I say, having been there myself many times, its rigidity has remained untouched. And my message to you all is, and especially if there are any lawyers here, or lurking lawyers, or potential lawyers, is to actually look a little bit outside this region to see how legal systems can actually innovate and renovate. One of the strengths, not only because I'm trained in England, I think the English system is one of the best working models, not theoretical, but working models, it's its ability to innovate and adapt to situations.